Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to What's the Damage, the good old WTD question mark here on my channel. The segment where I can kind of let my hair down, my very little hair down, and talk about things that make me angry, give you heated rants and stuff, with very powerful arguments and whatnot. Now, do not be fooled by the aesthetic today, the intro, the background music, and the bright colored shirt that I'm wearing, all of this that I'm doing here, treating this as a regular vlog is just to soften the blow of what I'm going to talk about today, There is a possibility that this is going to be my deepest and most personal and possibly darkest video I've ever done on YouTube, but I still wanted to treat it like a regular vlog, and put it in my What's the Damage playlist, mostly because I kind of gotta fill that up, I gotta hit my quota till the end of the year, and I just want this to be a regular YouTube video, although the subject matter is going to delve into things that I have shared before on my channel, but not in the same capacity that I'm going to try today, okay? Let me give you some context first. Yesterday, well, at the time of recording this video yesterday, I did something on Instagram which was ask people. This actually happened on Tuesday. I just remember today is Thursday. Tuesday there was a holiday here in Sao Paulo, and I put up a little thing on Instagram, a story where I asked people to send me questions, those little things where, hey, ask me a question or whatever. I did that in the dying minutes of like close to midnight on Tuesday, to finish off the holiday, right? And I was giving my followers a chance to ask me whatever the hell they wanted, no matter how deep and personal, and I was going to answer. I've done this many times before, However, one particular person asked me something and I answered in a certain way that kind of set my Instagram feed ablaze in a way, because this person asked me about my depression, specifically if my depression had ended, if I was no longer depressed, and seeming to imply, like asking, okay, so are you done with depression? Are you cured of depression? And I said no, and I gave a very long and detailed answer explaining why, saying that I still struggle with it, I've never been over it, this and that, and what that caused there is something that I did not see coming, not exactly a flood, there wasn't like a bunch, but there was a significant number of people who reacted to that story, sending me messages on Instagram and WhatsApp, people were just trying to communicate with me because they thought I was going through a rough time, and people who know what I went through before in the past, they got worried that just maybe I was contemplating, doing something drastic. And it kind of inspired me to record this video here. This video was originally not on my spreadsheet. I did not intend on recording it, and as such, there is no script. There is nothing here. My tablet is not even here. It's over there because I'm going to record another video later, This video here is going to come straight from the heart, and it's going to be a concept vlog, so no photos, no videos or anything. It's going to be literally just me talking to you guys because I feel the need to address something, and I haven't talked about this in years, on YouTube, not even here in real life, it's just, I don't enjoy talking about this with people, but I just felt the need to kind of clarify this, and the best way to do it, openly and sincerely without any filters is here on YouTube. So I am going to be talking today about my ongoing battle with depression. I have struggled with mental health issues for years now, so it's not unfamiliar territory, I'm not new to it. When I say mental health issues, it's not like I'm a psychopath or something, I'm not like a serial killer, but I mean that I'm not always in the best headspace, and my mind sometimes really scares me, and all of this started way back when I was a teenager, or even less. I was like 15 or 16, right? When my family, me and my folks immigrated back from the United States to Brazil, and I struggled a lot to adapt to this country. I still do today, actually, growing up in one country, then coming back to another and having to kind of redo everything here, I did not adapt well in schools. I couldn't get through college many years later, and I always felt this homey instinct back to the place where I felt like I belonged, and that started to create this identity crisis inside of me that just kept festering and festering as the years went on, Every year I go through this, I haven't stopped. Every year I just kind of sit down and think, where exactly am I going with my life? You know, is everything that I'm doing here a waste of time? Why don't my dreams come true? Why can't I, you know, fulfill the objectives I want, despite being able to find success in my work and other areas? Ultimately, the things that I want the most always seem to elude me, and that's enough to make a person feel sad, you know? And I have always had issues with this. You know, I've gone to therapy a few times, and every single therapist that I've ever had gave up on me because they were scared, you know? That's the only conclusion that I can come to, because after we hit a certain point in our therapy sessions, they literally just give up, you know? Because it's too much for them, you know? This up here is too much for myself. Imagine somebody else, you know? Imagine trying to project it onto someone else. But, you know, when I came back to Brazil, me and my parents didn't always get along. You know, I had a few issues here, you know, in Rio de Janeiro, you know, a lot of people just making me go out of my mind. But then relationships started to happen, you know, that really took a toll on me. 2017 was a turning point, because that's when I first fell into clinical depression, which is the worst kind, you know. That's like it was really bad, man. I was in a very bad place in 2017. To this day, that is the worst year of my life, you know, bar none. I don't think any year is ever going to surpass it, you know. I was going through some complications with a former relationship, an ex-girlfriend who, you know, showed up in my life again, and there were things going on that I don't want to address, but, you know, let's just say I got my heart broken all over again. And in that same year, I was going through an even stronger identity crisis, you know. I was recently fired from a job of mine. I was jobless because Rio was really, really crappy with the job opportunities. Almost moved back to the US, but didn't, you know. That really got my hopes up. And when it was taken away, everything just fell, you know. In that same year, Chester Bennington from Linkin Park, my favorite rock band ever, committed suicide. That was also really tough for me. And also, you know, I don't think I've ever even said this on YouTube, man. It's really, really deep and personal, but my 6-year-old cousin also passed away. She was just a kid and she died, you know, complications with some allergic reaction, you know. Her mom gave her medicine, but unfortunately, she didn't make it. So going to a 6-year-old's funeral is not a very pleasant experience, man, you know. It was really, really bad for me, and it wasn't exactly traumatizing, but it still set off something in my head, you know. And all of these events just accumulated, you know, and before I knew it, I was already knee deep in depression. How did I know that it was depression? Because I lost my appetite. I didn't want to eat. I barely wanted to get out of bed. I didn't want to bathe, you know, and I was still living with my parents, and they didn't even notice, you know, or didn't care at the time. I don't know, but it was really hard to reach out and talk to someone. Still is today, because nobody understands me. You know, there are people who always say, hey, look, if you're ever feeling down and sad and depressed, come talk to me, okay? I'm your friend, I care about you. And that's all good and dandy. The problem is that my friends, none of my close friends and family members who I talk to regularly, none of them have gone through what I've gone through. They have never been anywhere near depressed. They have never hit rock bottom the way I did. That's why I can't talk to them. If you're a friend of mine watching this and you understand English, don't take this the wrong way. I love you, I really do, but if you've never gone through what I have, how can you give me advice on how to get through it? Like, do you understand what I'm trying to say? People who have never gone through depression themselves really, really, really underestimate how hard it is for somebody with depression to talk about it with someone else. Even more so when they know that person has never gone through what they've gone through, you know? It's usually much better for you to talk to somebody who has been through it, you know, because that person can share their experience going through it and how, if they even got through it at all, you know, because that's how it is, man, you know. If you have never been depressed a day in your life, if you've never struggled with the same mental health issues that I have, for example, how can you possibly hope to give me advice on how to get over it if you've never gone through it yourself? You know what I mean? Like, if you have a friend who's depressed and you're always telling them the whole, oh yeah, I love you, you're important to me, I don't want you to kill yourself, you matter, this and that, that's not gonna help, man, because everybody says that to that person. Do you have any idea how many times I've heard those same phrases? Yes, you matter, man. Yes, I love you, man. Yes, you're important, man. Yes, I don't want you to die, man. Yes, this and that, man. Yes, blah, blah, blah. At one point, it just becomes technical about it. It just turns into gibberish, you know? It's not that I don't appreciate you people trying to help, you know, but that's not how you help somebody who has gone through clinical depression, you know? I have a few different methods of sort of kind of, you know, putting it away for a while, because there were many events in my life that led up to what happened in 2017, you know. I was already feeling bad, and all of those things that I mentioned that happened in 2017 just pushed me over the edge. In 2018, I was feeling pretty bad, but I came to Sao Paulo, kind of turned my life around. I relapsed in 2019, fell back into depression. There was, unfortunately, an attempt on my life. I'm not proud of that, but I still remember it. And the things that were in my head at the time, I wasn't drunk. I was very awake and aware of what I was doing. And I do feel grateful that I didn't go through with it, you know, but whether I tried, but it didn't work, okay? There are times when I feel like I'm not meant to be here, you know, and there were other times when I wanted to, but I just talked myself out of it, or a friend talked me out of it, you know. But there was one true, genuine suicide attempt in my life. You know, I actually did try, but it didn't work out, so maybe that was a sign. You know, and that happened in 2019 here in Sao Paulo. That was really when I hit the lowest of lows. I was in a very dark place at the time. I still remember the thoughts that were going through my head, but slowly as the years have gone on, I have, you know, I've dedicated myself to my work, you know. When the COVID hit, that was really hard for me and a lot of other people, but, you know, being stuck at home without a job and very little income was tough, you know. Had to really battle through my demons there, but once the COVID, sort of, you know, we emerged from it, I got myself a new job that I've been working for more than a year now, which gives me enough time to, you know, take advantage of my hobbies, the things that I like to do. I'm always watching movies and TV shows. Oh, God, I hate it when that happens. I'm sorry about the random cut. It's because my dumbass camera stopped recording for some reason. It always does this, you know. I have got to get a new camera, man. I cannot be a YouTuber with this freaking Nikon. This is a camera for photography, not to the... Anyway, so like I was saying, right? Let's backtrack a little bit. So yes, I've been working the same job for more than a year. It gives me ample time for free time. So, you know, I work many hours throughout the week, but it gives me enough free time at home to do my hobbies, you know. I'm always, whenever I can in my downtime, watching a bunch of movies, TV shows, and sports events, playing video games, you know, listening to music, just doing chores around the house too, because these activities distract me, you know. It kind of helps me put away the thought that there are days that I don't want to be alive, you know. Depression is a roller coaster, man, you know. There are days when you wake up in a great mood, you get up, you know, you wash your face, you make some coffee, have your breakfast, go to work, you know, walk down the street with a smile on your face, saying good morning to everybody, you know. The day goes well, you come home, go to sleep feeling just thrilled, you know. And the very next day, you might wake up feeling the exact opposite way, you know? You might not want to get out of bed. You're just gonna sluggishly get out of it, you know? You're going to not even want to eat because you don't have an appetite. You're not gonna want to go to work, but you still do. You get there, there's no energy to do anything productive, you know? The day drags on, and when you come back home, take a shower and crawl back into bed, you have trouble falling asleep because of all the dark thoughts in your head. That's depression, you know. It can come back at a moment's notice, you know. Right now, today, I'm okay, I'm fine. Recording this video is opening up some deep wounds that I don't want. It's like just talking about it is hard, but I'm okay, I'm fine, okay. I was fine before doing this video, and I'll be fine after doing it, you know. But maybe tomorrow I won't be, or I will be, or the day after tomorrow I won't be, or I will be, you know. That's how depression is. You never know what's gonna happen, you know. But metaphorically speaking, I can take my depression, you know, and I can put it in a cage somewhere inside of me, and then it just stays there, and I can live my life happily. Sometimes though, it will break out of the cage and it will come, you know, try to take me. I'll put it back in a bigger and stronger cage, you know. I'll live my life happily. It will break free. I gotta trap it in another cage again, and the cycle continues until one day it might get so big that it's going to engulf me completely, and no cage is ever going to hold it, you know. Metaphorically speaking, depression is a cancer on the mind, man, you know. You guys know what cancer does to a human being. Yes, I'm aware that there are some forms of cancer that are not as serious as others, and they can be treated with the right medication if it's discovered early enough, you know. I know that I have a cousin who got through cancer, you know, but it was cancer in the blood, so I guess it wasn't as bad or as serious as the other ones, you know. But the vast majority of cancers, you know, can spread quickly, and no matter what you do, it's gonna kill the host, you know. It's a virus inside of your body, and that's what depression is. It's a cancer in your mind. So you can put it off and do treatment, do your hobbies, do stuff that you like, you know. You can keep putting it off, you can keep getting rid of it temporarily, but it's always gonna come back, and it always gets you. Cancer kills a person by just breaking down their body and making them pass away from, you know, natural causes. Depression kills a person by forcing them to take their own life. Suicide is usually the end game for somebody who is going through very severe depression. Like I said before, there are different stages of it, but depending on how strong or weak you are mentally, you know, even the early stages of depression can already make you have suicidal thoughts, you know. But there are people who go through severe depression and still don't feel the need to, you know, die. You know, it's not the case with everyone, and usually it's a culmination of things, you know. It's not just that the person themselves don't want to be alive, it's just that they don't feel like there's a lot of support from the world around them, you know, their close friends, their family members, you know. They might feel like nobody cares, and if they do, they don't show it. You know, they might feel like there are no opportunities for them to be someone in the world. Maybe they lost their job and they lost their house and they've hit rock bottom, you know. There are people who go through so much of this crap in life and still manage to, you know, like just climb out of that hole and emerge stronger than ever, you know. I've gone through this myself a few times. I have fallen down and I've gotten up, and like without even expecting it, you know, I managed to get myself up and, you know, just kind of break away from the darkness that was holding me down, you know. But the thing is that anything can trigger this darkness, you know. Sometimes I'll be having a perfectly fine day, but then somebody near me will say or do something that will remind me of something that was said or done in the past by somebody that will trigger a very bad memory, and boom, I'm already feeling depressed again. That's how it is. All it takes is one bad thought to already send me into kind of like this downward spiral, you know. And that's when all of those bad things start coming back in. The low self-esteem, the insecurity with myself and where I am in the world, and the desire to just die, not exist, you know. And the thing is that I mentioned self-esteem. Low self-esteem can also affect somebody, you know. I have gone through this myself many times, still kind of do, although I tend to not really care too much. Like if somebody makes a crack at my appearance, I don't really care. Like I'm the only one who criticizes myself, you know. But it's not self-esteem regarding physical appearance. It's just feeling like you're not important enough to society, like you're not contributing enough, and ultimately you're useless, you know. There are days when I feel like this, so it all just adds up, you know. It all accumulates. And there are days when I feel like everything around me is just too tiring and I just want to take an eternal rest, you know. There are days when I really don't want to be alive. It happens, you know. Happens to the best of us. You know, like even people without depression go through this. Sometimes you just feel really down and things are crappy. And whenever a friend comes to talk to me about this, my very close friends who have known me for years, even decades, they know how to deal with me. When I go to talk to them about something completely random and out of the blue, you know, without warning, then they know that I'm feeling down. They know that depression is creeping back in, so I need something to help myself distract my head from it, you know. So then we'll talk about something random. They might notice, you know, that I've been absent from social media, whether it's Instagram or Twitter, or haven't been talking to them on WhatsApp, you know. When they see that I've been away for too long, they kind of start to pick up on it, because I'm never too busy to talk to my friends, you know. I always make time. So, you know, whenever I don't talk to them, it's because they know that there's something wrong, you know. It's all of these small, subtle hints that sometimes I'll drop intentionally or even unintentionally. They'll just figure out that there's something wrong with me. They'll come and talk to me, and they know how to talk to me. They know how to act with me in a way that's going to make me temporarily purge the dark thoughts in my head. It might not be the same way for everyone, but to me, it works just fine. Right now, I'm fine because I talk to friends who help me distract myself, you know. If If I don't have anything to distract myself, like playing games and watching Netflix or whatever other streaming service I have, if I have nothing to distract myself, I'm gonna sit here all day with my dark thoughts swallowing me alive, and I'll probably jump out of a window and die. One thing that I absolutely, utterly cannot stand, I despise with every fiber of my soul, are the people that think that suicides are cowardly acts, you know? Like the person was a coward, instead of trying to seek help, they decided to just end it, you know, and leave their family and friends behind. This was said about Chester Bennington when he took his own life, you know, which is, it's weird because you look at a person who's rich and famous and clearly beloved by millions of people, you know, it seems like they don't have a lot of troubles in life, but they do. Just because somebody is rich and famous doesn't mean that they don't have emotions, you know? They have thoughts and feelings just like us, man. And Chester Bennington was a person who went through so much in his life before becoming famous as a singer, you know? Robin Williams as well, you know, one of my favorite actors ever, who made so many people laugh, and, you know, he just felt the need to take his own life because it just wasn't there. Sometimes the person really truly does have the world. They have money, they have fame, they have admiration, they have everything that they could ever ask for, but there's still something missing. There's still essence that's not there in their heart, you know? And then at the very end, they just feel alone and empty. There's nowhere else to turn, so they just feel like, okay, that's enough. I'm out. You know, that's just how it works, man. And it's really tough, you know? It's sad when somebody takes their own life, but I think it's always sad because what if the person was like, what if they talked to the right person? What if the right person who has gone through what they had gone through said exactly the right thing that helped them get through that? That's what was missing. What if that had happened? Maybe the person wouldn't have committed suicide, you know? Somebody who has gone through depression and literally gotten through it can give me very good advice. I have a theory that depression is not curable, you know? I'm going to carry this weight around me, you know, for the rest of my life. This darkness, it's going to lay dormant. It's going to resurface, go back down, come back up, down, up. This is what depression is for me, you know? I can't ever get rid of it. And I've never met anybody who has. If I ever talk to somebody who has gotten through it, hey, feel free to tell me how you did it, you know, and how it felt when you finally got rid of it. But as far as I'm concerned, depression is cancer. It's gonna stay there. I can keep doing different kinds of treatments to get through it, but it's always gonna be there. I don't like going to therapy anymore. I have a bone to pick with therapists. I have friends who have degrees in psychology. This is not a slam directed towards you, but in general, I can't seem to get along with therapists because, like, just because you went to a stupid college and got a piece of paper that says that you're a psychologist, it doesn't mean that you're automatically qualified to tell me how to live my life, man. You're not qualified to say, hey, don't kill yourself because you're important. You don't know what I've been through. So, like, how exactly can a psychologist tell me? Like, I don't know, man. I can't, okay? I can't. It just doesn't feel good talking to therapists, you know? I'm giving somebody money to just talk to them about what's bothering me. That's not how it works. But if it works for you, that's fine. You know, I deal with my mental health issues in other ways, you know, drowning myself in pleasurable activities, you know, socializing with people who I care about. That is what makes me feel joy, you know? That's what puts the darkness away, because it's very, very heavy, but I have gotten used to the weight, you know? And like, I've made peace with my demons, even though a friend of mine said some time ago, which I did take it to heart. He said that you're not supposed to make peace with your demons, you're supposed to conquer them. I agree 100%, but he doesn't know what I've been through. That's the problem, you know? It's gotten to the point where I don't have the strength to, you know, conquer anything. So that's just how it is, man. You know, that is what I've been going through, this battle that I fought for many years, you know? And I don't know when it's ever gonna end or how it's gonna end, but what I do know is that today, right now, I'm fine. Okay? That's what's important. You know, if you know me in real life and you care about me, just know that right now, I'm fine. I might not be fine tomorrow, but right now, I am fine. So just relax. There's no need to worry about me, you know. I know how to deal with this darkness that I carry around, and I know when it's resurfacing, and I know what to do to scare it off. So just let me do it. Looking back on it now, I mean, honestly, the things that I've gone through in the past, you know, to make it to where I am today, the battles that I've fought, you know, with much deeper depression than I have now, I really am fine, man, you know. It's just, I don't feel the need, like, it's very rare for me to feel the need to, you know, like, make a fatal decision that's going to result in me not being around anymore, you know. It's just a different way of saying that it's been a while since I've contemplated suicide. It's been a long time, you know, it's been years, and I've gotten to the point where no matter what happens, I feel like I can deal with it, you know, whether it's by myself or with the help of people. But, you know, it's really hard for me to address this with my friends who I know care. I know that they want to see me well, and I know that, I mean, when it comes to taking your own life, no matter, usually the people who make the decision, even if they have the support and the love of their friends and family around them, they don't feel love towards themselves. They don't love themselves, and they are not satisfied with life. And so despite all of the positivity around them, they still make that decision, you know. I can understand that. It happens, man. And you know, it's just hopefully this video illustrated a little bit more about what it's like, you know, going through this. There are days when I'm fine, there are days when I'm not, you know. There are days when I have an appetite, days when I don't, but I still eat. Whenever depression starts to creep in and I lose my appetite, I still force myself to eat, because hey, that's already a way for me to fight against it, you know. When you're very deeply depressed, you don't want to eat. You don't want to shower, you don't want to get up and walk around, but I still do it anyway. I force myself to, because it tells my body and my mind and my heart that, hey, we're stronger than this, you know? It's progress. It's progress, all right? I don't know, this video got a little bit too long, much longer than I originally intended, but hopefully the message was, you know, very clear. Hopefully you guys understood it, and I guess that's it. There's nothing else that I can say, you know. No matter how long this video gets, it's very deep and personal. So if you made it to here, if you made it to the end, kudos to you, you know. You now know a lot more about me than I share with certain people outside of YouTube, all right? And that's it, guys. I'm sorry if you notice me looking back behind my camera. It's because I'm taking a look at the visor to see if it's not going to stop recording again. I have like a mirror behind me, so I'm going to wrap this up here, guys. If you happen to like this very different and unorthodox video, go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell too so you can know exactly what time I upload. And if you yourself are going through something, you know, if you're battling depression right now or any kind of mental illness, you know, you're feeling like, you know, like there's no way out, there always is, okay? Maybe this video helped you a bit, you know, me putting out what I feel. You can seek out a professional if you feel like it's going to help you. It never helped me, but it might help you. Talk to people who you care about, who will actually understand what you're going through. Don't waste your time and energy talking to somebody who doesn't understand you, you know? I have struggled with this for years, finding somebody who understands, you know? And when you finally do, it feels good, okay? So let's just wrap it up here. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in my next video, which hopefully will be much more lighthearted than this one. Roll the outro screen.